the Ultraview slider. Let's go unbox one. Just like all these other Ultraview products that we've gotten on this channel, this thing is, the packaging on this is just, it's top notch. This makes you feel like you're spending $600 on a site like this. This makes you feel like you're getting a $600 site. There is a QR code right in the top here for instructions for setup. So that's good to have that. Stay in the moment. That's their tagline for this site. Opening, pop, there is a very small quick start guide to kind of get you rocking and rolling here. And it looks pretty simple how to put the scope onto the rail itself. And yeah, let's get into it. Comes in a really nice carrying case. So if you're going to be traveling like myself, going on some of these Western hunts, maybe banging it around in your truck for some of these longer drives, this is a nice case to have. Dual zipper. Open it up. There it is. What we've been waiting for. Scope. Rail. You have your first and second axis is engraved into the sight rod. Third axis is right here. It makes it super simple. You're not hunting around looking for instructions. It's really nice. This is the straight rod mount because I am shooting in Elite, so I will have the side mount on the bow. If you were getting a bridge lock, if you're shooting a Matthews or maybe one of the Picatinny rail systems for one of the other Hoyts or systems that are using the Picatinny rail sights for, you can get a separate sight rod that actually fits those. But this one I have right here is just the straight rod for the Elite bow that I'm shooting. Scope itself looks very similar to the normal UV3 XL scope, but it does have some other cool features on it. If you've ever had one of these scopes and you're trying to take these cartridges out, they've always had the set screw on one side and then another one on the sight side, and it's always kind of been a pain to get both of those out. You usually have to get an Allen and just you're very finely trying to get it. It's much easier when the scope is detached from the sight, but making it on one side now, I think that's getting overlooked by a lot of people. That's pretty cool, pretty easy to get to. So just one set screw will be able to pull this cartridge out. Pins themselves, we've gone with green, yellow, green, and then yellow down there, floater at the bottom. I like how Ultraview has introduced this little ring for the inside of the scope housing. It doesn't really take much away from your sight picture because you're kind of already cluttered a little bit, but this just adds it in, makes it look really nice, really sleek. Bubble fits right in the middle of it, but the rail itself, little piece of foam, don't need that. But these indicators right here, man, look at those things. Very sharp. They are color coordinated too, so green, yellow, green, which coordinates with your pins down in here. And I believe there's something where you can actually make a fourth one for your floater, but we'll get into that as we start putting this sight together. Comes with a 3D archery ring, or just a white ring, so if you don't want to shoot or can't shoot this light housing on the back, you can just pull that out, pop this in. That's pretty cool that they add this in there. Usually you have to go buy one of these, but I guess for $600, it's part of the price now. We have our sight block for the bow itself. We'll see how that mounts up, but it has a little detent down here in the bottom, which will fit on the bottom of the rail, and then your set screw on the top. So it's not just being pinched on one side to clamp it down. It's actually got a detent that'll fall into these little grooves, and then you'll be clamping it down from the top. So it does have two, I guess, secure points, so you know you're in the right notch and you're not kind of stuck in the middle. Putting this together, there's a little lever here at the bottom. Unlatch the top. Yep, that's it. It is pretty nice. So there are a lot of sights out there, but this one's nice. It is one twist from the top to the bottom, one big handful. There's a lot of sights on the market that are pretty similar to that. Some other ones that have turn knobs on the top and bottom. You can be clicking for days, and they make a very large gang adjustment, but having a nice wheel where you can just wheel it to where you need to go, that's pretty cool. So, and I guess with the lockdown, if you really need to override it, You can, there is some stiffness there, but it is not impossible to override that. Pins give off a nice glow. But let's keep going. Let's see what else is in this package. So screws, I'm assuming that is for the sight rail mount, but let's dig into this top pouch, see what we got. Instructions, another QR code. So that makes 2 QR codes right on the packaging. We have our sight tapes here. These are for, how they label them, lefty, righty, or lefty, lefty, righty, righty. Tapes 1 through 20, 21 through 40. It looks like there's a pretty good scale on these. You got your setup sight scale over here, and then you just match those with your corresponding sight tapes, which is pretty neat. Makes that pretty simple. Instruction manual kind of goes over all the parts and pieces, how to install it, how to adjust it. That's pretty cool. If you've never had, you don't know which button does what on the light mount. How to unlock and lock your windage, how to move your windage. First, second axis adjustments, your third axis adjustments. So it makes it pretty simple. Not only they give you a QR code for the instruction manual, they actually give you an instruction manual. So if you can't figure this out or you don't know how to get the information, there's plenty of opportunities in this packaging to make that happen for you. This other bag. In this other bag, we have an extra bubble, 2 extra batteries, a metal sight tape, which I think is pretty cool. So there's already one installed on the sight itself, and there's actually 2 already installed on the sight itself. So they give you, it looks like, a third one in this package. So what's really cool about the metal sight tapes here is they're slotted at the top and bottom. One thing I think will be really cool about this sight is if you get your sight tape set up, 20 through 120, and then you go out to like a total archery challenge event and you're maybe a yard off because of the elevation, or you start shooting in your sight tape, you start getting more comfortable, you figure out you're a yard off. Instead of having to try to peel that sight tape off and put it back on, you can simply just loosen these Allens and have a little bit of adjustment in this metal sight tape itself to be able to slide this up or down to really fine tune it and get it in the exact spot that you want. I think that's really neat. Having the ability to micro adjust your sight scale on your sight itself, I think is a valuable feature and tool to have. So that's awesome that they made it. And the fact that you can have one on one side and one on the other, if you ever wanted to run 2 sight tapes, that's great. You can look down your riser, or you can look on the opposite side of your riser and see where you're at. It also has a little indicator on the wheel itself for like a single pin. So let's say you make your center pin 30 yards, then your indicator over here will be at 30 yards. Rolls really well. It's got enough tension, and it's pretty nice. Rolls nice. It's got some tension, not too much. No slop, if any, barely a tiny, tiny jiggle. Nothing more than any other sight's got, but that is awesome. Windage, man, that pulls out super easy. Oh, it's got clicks. So it does have clicks. Probably hear them. Push it back in when you're done, and it's locked in. It's nice UV logo on the side, Ultraview logo on the top of the rail. Ultraview logo, Ultraview logo. They've definitely done a good job branding. I do like the color of the scope housing itself. They've kind of gone away from that, that metal, that light gray color looking. Having a flat black color, it's just going to blend in more for the bow hunter. I think it's going to be a good addition. I was getting ready to paint mine if I was going to run that other housing this year, so that's good they already did it for me. Good little parts kit, some extra parts and pieces. I think this is the other indicator for the 4th pin on the bottom, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to read that manual or scan one of these QR codes. But let's get this thing installed on the bow. Let's go out there, let's see how hard it is to sight this thing in. Let's run this through its paces. Is this sight worth $600? We're about to find out. We're gonna see how easy this thing goes together and if it's gonna stay on my bow this hunting season. But I do like Ultraview products. I think they put a lot of time and effort into making something that is a really sleek, compact design. Just look at the front of this. It is very compact. There's no extra windage knobs, there's no extra set screws, there's nothing hanging off of this. It is a really small package. Not a lot to get hung up on anything, nothing really exposed except for the rail itself. No, screw rods extended out or like threads exposed to the weather to get rust on them, to get crud junked in them. Stainless steel bolts. Man, they've really thought this out. They've put a lot of time and engineering into making this the smallest, sleekest, compact design as possible. And I can't wait to get this thing on the bow. This is probably one of the sleekest sights. It just looks good too. Yeah, I can't wait to get this thing on the bow and start shooting some arrows. So this is going to be the sight that I'm going to run for 2023. I thank Ultraview for sending me this sight to be able to bring this review to you guys. If you want to pick up one of these sights, ultraviewarchery.com. Lancaster, I believe, is going to have them. I'm sure they're going to show up at your local Ultraview retailers. So be on the lookout for these. A lot of them will start shipping here in September, just around the corner. So I think it's a great sight. If you have the money to spend on it and you are looking for the best sight in the market right now, I do believe this Ultraview slider is going to be that sight. So go pick yours up today. And if it's something you don't like, guys, I've always been an advocate of, the secondhand market, whether you want to buy it on the secondhand market or sell it on the secondhand market. Ultraview products hold their value. They just do. Go look at any of the buy, sell, trade forums, Facebook groups, your buddies. Everyone's trying to get damn near retail price for their used Ultraview products because they can, because they make good products, and the market's just there for it. So if you buy it, you don't like it, you can always turn it around and sell it to one of your friends and probably get about retail money back for it. I'm super glad it got launched. I'm super glad I was able to get one of the first ones. So thank you for watching this video, guys. My name's Jeff Cordero. We'll see you on another video.